One cool thing about the cutscenes of this game is that they're rendered using in-game graphics. Just as I expected, Drevin dies. There we go. Don't show this dialogue. I don't need the game to tell me to save. Welcome to prison. Hope you enjoy your stay. Let's put points in brilliance some more. We need that, so... Was there any doubt about his upcoming demise? Not really, no.
What do you want?
Where am I? Where's Drevin?
What? Oh, you're one of the new ones. We pulled you out from underneath the body of a blue-haired elf and brought you here to the town of Ireland. You're to be kept behind bars until we figure out what to do with you.
Let me out of here.
Warden Celia's in charge here, and what's to be done with you is up to her. If I were you, I would keep my head down and learn to be respectful before she finds you making demands.
I don't understand. What's this ring around my neck?
You wear the ring of submission to hold you in check. All prisoners must wear it.
Prisoner, eh?
Hush, here comes the warden now.
Blasted dryads! Quickly, Orem, while she's talking to that elf. Now's your chance. Ah!
Foul creature. I warned him what would happen if he attempted to harm a dryad. There can be no hope for these types.
Do not be so hasty, Celia. Some of these prisoners have roles to play yet. I have seen it. This poor soul here, for example. I know this one can be trusted.
I do not know, Amron. Given arms, that mercenary could well kill us all. The entire village is endangered.
As a personal favor to me, please give this prisoner a chance.
As you wish, my friend. I hope you are able to find that which you seek.
Namare, Melonamin. Till next we meet.
Village. What is this, Resident Evil 8?
Amron the elf seems to trust you. I trust only the ring of submission around your neck. Prisoner.
Prisoner? Is that what I am now?
Our troops found you on the battlefield. You are lucky they found you alive, unlike the blue-haired elf.
Drevin is dead? He must have foreseen this. Where are my things? My medallion?
You were fighting on the side of Valdis. You are an enemy to the dryads of Ireland. Your friend is of no matter to me, and your medallion will remain property of Ireland until you show where your loyalties lie.
I have no quarrel with you. I merely followed my orders.
It is my orders you will follow now, and you will learn to keep your head down and your mouth shut. I have a task for you.
What do you want me to do?
Go to the weaponsmith at the blacksmith shop. She has spared some sharpening stones for our warriors. Get them, and take them to the Dryad outpost just outside the north gate of town.
So in this story, Drevin's actually a pretty major character, but going into it deeper would probably spoil something. So, is this outpost you speak of the Temple of the Coast?
No, the Temple of the Coast held the Aegis of Life, a powerful relic from the First Age. This artifact gave us all the protection we needed. Now the Aegis is gone, stolen by Valdis. Tell me, prisoner, what does he mean to do with it?
I know only that Valdis had ordered the Morden to destroy everything in their path in his search for the powerful relic.
Valdis is growing stronger by the day, as is his army. The Morden need to destroy our outpost, and then us. Enough, prisoner! Go get the sharpening stones from the weaponsmith, and take them to the outpost in the northern jungle. If you do well, I might reward you.
Very well. With this ring around my neck, I don't suppose I have much of a choice. That medallion is all I have left. I mean to have it back.
Be thankful Amron spoke up for you. Take my advice, prisoner, and avoid the animals of the jungle. One bite from them, and you'll be riddled with the plague. Now go, and don't make me regret granting Amron's favor.
Thank you.
There are creatures that carry the plague right outside the town gates. You will not even reach the outpost without being able to defend yourself. Take this equipment. It may not be the same as your old things, but it will give you some chance at least.
Money! Give me that. Yeah, this is why you don't... Oh, it auto-equipped the bow. Okay. Prisoner. Jeez. Prisoner of war. After securing the Temple of the Coast at Greyland Beach, Valdis, rather than giving a reward for his success, savagely attacked all of the mercenaries. You were knocked unconscious, and had it not been for your best friend Drevin stepping in front of you at the last moment, you probably wouldn't even be alive. You were discovered by the dryads who took you back to the treetop village of Irulan as a prisoner, where you overheard an elf known as Amrin asking your warden to treat you kindly, but you do not know why. So we need to get the sharpening stones and take them to the dryad outpost. That is our quest. We also have a map now that we will not be using, because it's not very helpful. So, we might as well equip Lesser Firebolt. This is so much better than Ember. So let me open up my spellbook, which is not something that needs to be equipped in. Well, you can, but yeah, I know what the spellbook tab does. Thanks. We're going to equip Lesser Firebolt, and we're actually going to equip Summon Teleporter. It's not actually a nature magic spell. One thing about this game that some people did not like that's different from the first game is that you can return to town basically whenever you want. That's because there's only like 3 towns in this game. We are on a D10 Firebolt. Sad. Well, actually, no. Firebolt is much better than Ember, since it, you know, hits only once, so it's easier to hit it. So, here's the shop. You'll notice that there's a exclamation point here.
Well, prisoner, I suppose I can enchant an item for you so long as that ring ensures your good behavior. If you are able to pay my price, I may be able to make you something very special.
Tell me more about this special thing.
First, you must understand that becoming a master enchantress is not easy. One must spend many years studying the arts of herbalism and alchemy. If one did not know the properties of every reagent and the results of their combination, why, terrible things could happen. I have even seen careless apprentices blow themselves up.
Sounds like a difficult art to master.
For one of my caliber, even the most difficult of tinctures and salves are possible. There is one in particular that is my specialty. It grants a fair amount of life recovery. I am told it is quite useful if you are interested.
Oh? That does sound rather useful. Tell me more.
My customers call it Lumilla's Salve, and it can be applied to enchantable armor for fighters and rangers, or jewelry of your preference. I would be happy to make some if you bring me the ingredients. 4 nettle clusters. They can be found in the jungle, if you keep your eyes open.
Thank you. I will be on the lookout for nettle clusters. We now have a quest. Enchantress Lumilla of Irulan is known for far and wide for her specialty, a healing salve reagent made from nettle clusters. No other enchanter has been able to master this technique, so Lumilla is your only source if you are interested in it. So we need to find things. Now you might notice we have primary quests and secondary quests. Secondary quests are optional, primary quests are not. However, there are secondary quests that, when completed, give you more skill points. So we're going to be completing as many secondary quests as we can in this playthrough, just for skill points.
You must be one of Celia's. You wear the ring of submission around your neck.
Celia does not own me.
I recognize you. They brought you in last night.
You saw them bring me in? Lady Dryad, please tell me what took place.
The battle was terribly bloody. We lost many from our village. Worst of all, Valdez succeeded in taking the Aegis of Life.
I have heard of this Aegis of Life, but I know very little of it.
It is a magical artifact that kept the Morden at bay. Without it, we are reduced to barricading ourselves behind these walls. Before we sealed the gates, you and the other injured prisoners were carried in. Some of you were mortally wounded. We worked hard to save your lives.
We fought against you in battle. Why would you save us after that?
You may have forgotten mercy, but we have not. You are indeed the enemy, however, and so you will stay with us as our prisoner.
Mercy, you may be right. It has been such a long time since I witnessed it. I will think on that, but for now I must collect some sharpening stones for the warden.
Here you are. And if you have some time, perhaps you could do a favor for me?
Allow me to prove that I am no longer your enemy. What might I do?
With all the fighting, we go through armor faster than we can craft it. Duma and Sen both need my help throughout the day and into the night. But I've only been in this trade for a short number of months. There's much to remember.
If you feel unfit to handle the challenge, you should inform your seniors. They deserve to know.
My memory is not normally this poor. I have lost dear ones in this war, and my mind is distracted. I seek your help. I must craft 5 suits of armor before the day is over. But with so much to remember, I've forgotten some of the steps involved. It would mean the end of my apprenticeship if the craft mistresses learned of this.
I understand what it is like to lose those who are close to you. What might I do to help?
There is a tome of smithing within the Great Hall that is sure to contain such information. I would be in your debt if you can discover the steps to creating dryad armor.
That hardly seems difficult. I will return shortly. So we need to... Apprentice Telenu is new to the armor smithing trade and is struggling to keep up with her studies. She has been ordered to create dryad armor for the dryad warriors, but cannot remember how to make it. She's afraid to ask her employers and has begged you to research the correct recipe for her. So we need to find... Oh yeah. The basket and its contents belong to Warden Celia. Celia asks you to retrieve this heavy basket that appears to be full of stones commonly used to sharpen swords, knives, and other metal blades. Oh yeah. It'll put a star next to something you haven't looked at yet. I don't know why Dreven's amulet had it. So you can actually tell her the recipe without going to find it, but I figure I might as well show people how to find it, because that's kind of important. So, as a prisoner, most areas are not accessible to us. As you can see, this area is off-limit to prisoners, so we cannot go to the pet shop, unfortunately. But I believe that the Great Hall is not off-limits. It is one of the only places... Oh, nope, never mind. I cannot go to the Great Hall. That's beautiful. So we'll have to wait to finish that Dryad Armor quest. I don't need to know this. I know how teleporters work. We'll have to obtain our pets at a later date. How sad. We will be using one pet for a little while, just not yet. Now, that quest to obtain nettle clusters, you don't actually need to obtain them from the forest. There are certain shopkeepers that sell reagents. They have that green gem above their head. We just walked past one. We have no money right now, so we can't afford it, but that's much easier way of getting them than actually, like, finding them in the woods, though there are 4 that are guaranteed to be on the ground.
You seem filled with the light of Ziria, mercenary.
Ziria? Should I know that name?
What? You do not know of Ziria? 1,000 years ago, in what historians call the First Age, Azunai the Defender rose up against Zeramoth the Unmaker, and led his people in battle to escape the yoke of tyranny. Ziria served as a mere outrider in the van of his army.
I'm gonna point out, I talked to the wrong person. I thought this was the quest giver. Please, go on.
Legends say that she crept up on Zeramoth's army of Sek infidels, close enough to
The
overthrow
Seks!
a plan that surely would have ended Azunai's rebellion then and there. Well, she bade one of her companions to make haste to Azunai's camp and warn him before it was too late. It seems that the lovely creature who had recently entered his company and with whom he seemed quite taken was actually a Sek in disguise.
What happened to Ziria?
With the warning dispatched, Ziria herself rode full into the center of the enemy's encampment. By the time she reached their mage's tent, it is said that she was riddled with arrows and worse. Alive by sheer will alone, she slaughtered every mage in the tent that night before they brought her down.
That is quite a story.
Indeed. When the last Sek mage died, the enchantment was dispelled, and all could see the true nature of Azunai's paramour. And just in time, too. A few more minutes and she would have slit his throat. We will never forget Ziria's bravery and sacrifice. If she had not acted, you and I would surely not be here today.
This is the guy we're supposed to talk to.
My story is both long and sad. You'll probably want to sit down and take out a hanky. Many years ago, I was captain of a fine ship. But now,
Get settled in. This is a long quest dialogue. Yes, but what now?
Oh, well, one day, my ship was wrecked in a brutal storm. I was washed ashore, unconscious. When I came to...
When you came to, what happened then?
Right. As I was saying, when I came to, there was a beautiful woman standing over me. There was something a little odd about her, though.
Hello, feet. Yeah, the Sek were the main enemies of the first game, Kiwi. When he came poggers. What was odd about her?
Ah, ha, ha. You'll never believe this part. This is the part no one ever believes. As I was saying, there was this beautiful woman, and she was...
Beautiful woman, yes, yes.
Well, she was green. Green and leafy. I had seen many strange things in my time, but none so strange as that, let me tell you. Well, except maybe for the...
I love the... I'm not going to pick it, but I love this response. Green and leafy. You must be talking about a walking salad. But, what? For the what?
Well, you see, when I was your age, before I was captain of that ship, of course, I was a soldier. I was stationed at Windstone Fortress, which was built by the ancient Azanites, way back before the... What was I talking about again?
Something strange you had seen. What was it?
Oh, of course. As I was saying, my job was to sweep the cloister in the Temple of Zyria at the heart of the fortress. So one day I was sweeping and I stubbed my toe. You'll never guess what I stubbed it on.
A senile old man, perhaps.
We wouldn't have let senile old men into the temple, no. It was a green stone carved with the ancient Azanite symbol for the Tree of Life. There was a socket in the center of the room that looked as if the stone would fit inside it. But I took a nap instead of trying it. I bet if I had, though, it would have opened a secret door or something. There. Now, wasn't that riveting?
Yes, yes. Tell me more about that socket.
Well, now, I believe it may be part of some sort of puzzle. You know, they were keen on that sort of thing back in the temple's heyday. If you could investigate that for me, it would put my mind at rest.
Sounds intriguing, I must admit. Very well.
Thank you, friend. The Temple of Zyria can be found deep within Windstone Fortress.
Secrets of Zyria's Temple. Look at this intended level. This is a quest we're not going to get to for a while. A grizzled bar patron spoke at length about his adventures in the Temple of Zyria. While there, he encountered a stone with the symbol of the Azanite Tree of Life inscribed on it, and a socket nearby in which it might have fit. Perhaps this deserves investigation. Indeed. We will be doing that quest. It's literally the last side quest of this act. Well, let's keep exploring the village just to see where all we can go for now. I believe we can go to the falls as well. I want to check that, of course. Nope. Okay. So the only place we're allowed to go is the inn and to leave the city. Which is fine, honestly. So we can't... we can complete that quest for the armor, but I'm not going to. Because, yeah. I'd rather wait and do it when we're actually meant to. Which is not too far into the future. Like, I'd say a couple hours of gameplay, and we'll be able to get that done. So this is that merchant I was talking about before. This guy can sell nettle clusters.
Welcome to Bernard's Odds and Ends Traveling Emporium. I made it to the safety of Ireland's terraces just before the Morden attacked. And we'll be staying until they leave, so take your time browsing my fine assortment of goods. I carry many special reagents, all of which Enchantress Lumilla can use in enchanting your equipment.
Let's see what you have. I know how shops work. So this is what a nettle cluster looks like. It gives you HP. I, of course, have no money, so I will not be purchasing them. There's also stuff here like 8% death resistance, 2 intelligence. This is a really strong effect. Lightning resist, max damage, lightning damage, health steal, fire damage. Like, there's some really cool stuff in here. Oh, the ruby splinter and the amber fragment do the exact same thing, but for different types of weapons. And then this symbol means that this is a recruitable party member. Hello, hello, Buildery. It's not useless, but most people wanted combat mage, so that's what we're going with. So we have the choice of Daru, he is a ranger, or Lothar, who is a melee character. Since we're a magic user, we want a tank, so we will be taking Lothar.
I didn't expect to see you here. If you're leaving town soon, I'll lend you my sword arm.
Companion would be welcome. What sort of skills do you have? He is level 2 in melee and level 1 in combat magic, which is pretty decent, honestly. Taking Lothar, he is the more interesting of the two characters, and he is also better in combat. Plus, he has the same ability Drevin has. So yeah, I would be happy to have you come along. You've recruited a new party member. Thanks.
Been wanting to show this town my back for a long time. You won't be sorry, whatever you've heard.
And end conversation. Let's make that smaller. Okay, Lothar, what have you got? You've got melee skills and 2 free skill points right now. Funny enough, after your first playthrough, he's a full-blown combat mage if you start. Drevin hasn't been dead for 5 minutes and we've already replaced him. That's normal. So, now here's a question for you guys. Do we want him to be straight melee, or do we want to make him a Fist of Stone? Both are possible. And we can start them right away. Fist of Stone is a fun class, but it's not as diverse as regular melee for some reason. The game wants Lothar to be a tank. Monk archetype? That would be this one, right? Going towards the middle, so two-handed. Fist of Stone. Keep in mind, we won't actually be able to get the Fist of Stone skills until, like, level 12, but more diverse class is a less diverse class in the end. True. It's more diverse at the beginning, but Fist of Stone is fun, so yeah, let's go with that. So we're mostly going to be taking melee attacks for him. Or melee skills, prior to actually getting his equipment, that is. Let's talk to the mage.
What are you doing out of the prison ward? You should not be wandering around here.
I don't know how to reset. I don't think resetting points is free, but it's not super expensive. I was wondering if I could purchase some of your goods. So, in order to make a Fist of Stone, you see how some of these spells are green and some are blue? The blue ones are Fist of Stone spells, which are needed. The first one we get is Strength of Stone, which literally just gives you strength, but it splits your experience between melee and nature magic, which is how you get Fist of Stone stuff. It's not a lot of spells. This one requires nature magic level 38. So since we're going to make him a Fist of Stone, we're going to want this. Now, as you know, we only have $0, so let's go ahead and sell this two-handed weapon for now, because we can't use it anyways. Give him Strength of Stone, and put that in his auto-cast slot, so he automatically has that on at all times. Now, even if you weren't making a Fist of Stone, this is a really nice spell, because 4 strength is a lot of damage. 2 to 4 damage, or 3 to 6. I don't know why he doesn't just have that equipped by default. 4 or 1 defense, alright. I'll take his old boots, because I don't have any. Duration 300 is 300 attacks. It's 300 seconds, so 5 minutes. But the spell is super cheap to cast, so don't worry about it. Also, what types of combat magic spells have we got? The red ones are for Blood Assassins. We probably won't have a Blood Assassin in our party. But this literally just gives dexterity, which is nice. So, obviously, picking what archetype of combat magic doesn't matter until level 5, so I'm just going to stick with Fireball. Actually, Lothar, you have a Lesser Jolt. How much damage does that do? 10 to 16 as opposed to 17 to 20. The range is the same. I'm guessing Lesser Jolt is Zap, so it's a guaranteed hit. But I think I'll just keep with Firebolt for now. Oh, what's the sword got on it? 3 to 6. It's the same as the mace, so there's no point. Almost half mana cost. If you're not making Fist of Stone, then even though you get 4 strength, you lose out in the end since less XP. That is true. It is a really good skill, though. So we're going to want to make Lothar be a tank. Did I go the right way? No, I went to the prison again. Let's go back. So we want him to be a tank, which means the spells we're going to want to get are Provoke. Not Whirling Strike. Whirling Strike is kind of all around. You don't need to go for a specific one. No, they all cast at the same speed, Buildery, actually. other tank things, Warcry is a two-handed weapon one. Which one is the other shield one? Is there not another? Is it just Whirling? I think Whirling Strike is actually a defensive one. But since we're going to want to go for Provoke, we're going to want Barricade. But since we can't get to that right now anyways, we're just going to put 1 point in each, I think. We could get to this level 2, but that's not too big of a damage upgrade. Critical hits are nice. For now, I will just put 1 point in each, because, yeah. And let's actually leave town now, because there's nothing else we can do in town. So that's the main hub area that we're going to be using most of the time. The other areas are not really that helpful.
You are clear to leave.
Thank you. The other areas in town are not really that helpful.
With Morden. Are they powerful?
Aye.
They're a blight. The world's better off without them.
I am with you on that. They are formidable, though.
When I see one, I will kill it. I trust you won't stop me?
Be my guest, friend. Yeah, so the allies you pick will actually have flavored dialogue at certain points in the game. And if you have certain allies with them, they also have special dialogue in those situations. How does the sequel compare to the original game length-wise? The sequel is significantly longer.
There you are, prisoner. Come along. I am to take you to the outpost. It is just ahead.
We could go to the outpost right away, or we could go exploring. So it's a lot more linear than the first game, which is, it's actually not, but don't worry about it. Since we have Natural Bond, we can actually steal mana potions from these blue bushes, which is nice. But there's also a path over here. So let's see what's over here this way. Oh, I can't because there's a cart blocking it. Okay. Well, we have to go around. Not only that, but you also play the sequel 3 times. Well, you can. You don't need to play it 3 times to get the full story. That isn't necessary. But we got our first enemies here. Haku Skinners. They only have 15 HP. As you can tell by the border around their health bar, they're not very strong. That gray border means it's an actual grunt, and there is nothing weaker than it. There's also this elevator here. Let's see what's down here, shall we? Here we've got 4 rooms.
Greetings. Here to look at the sanctuary doors?
Sanctuary doors? What are those?
Sanctuaries are small rooms that are said to contain powerful treasures. However, they can only be obtained if you have the proper weapon equipped and the necessary skill required to break down the magical sanctuary door.
Interesting. Who created the sanctuaries?
No one really knows who built the sanctuaries or where they came from. All that's known is that they were usually found along the old trade routes amongst the ruins of the last age, and that they are often located in remote, dangerous regions where only brave adventurers dare to tread.
What do the symbols in front of each door mean?
There are 4 types of sanctuary doors: melee, ranged, nature magic, and combat magic. The symbol indicates the class and weapon type needed to open the door.
Thank you. Farewell. So now we've got these doors. These require a level 3, these ones anyways, require level 3 of the respective class in order to break them open. Now, Lothar is only level 1 and level 2 in melee, and I believe I'm only level 2 in combat magic, so we can't open these yet. But basically, these are treasure rooms. They have very good loot inside of them. There's also a lectern here. Lesser Chant of Dexterity, which gives you a boost to your dexterity for 3 minutes if chanted at an incantation shrine, which was that blue shrine up there. I generally don't use the incantation shrines. They seem like a waste to me. Only for ones that are needed for quests. Treasure rooms are designed for each respective class. Yes, they actually do drop loot based on the class needed to open them. Oh, I don't like seeing those so early on. These are Terrax. They are not weak. I'll put it that way. So what we'll do is we'll have Lothar kill the first one. One bad thing is that you don't get to see DPS of weapons in the inventory. Oh, wow, he just took a lot of damage. Jeez. So yeah, Terrax do a lot of damage, and they have a lot of HP compared to everything else. Okay, he needs to move. These guys are not pushovers, essentially. These are like the hardest common enemy in this area, if I'd say so. Lothar leveled up. Oh, he's level 3 in melee skill, which means we can go back and open that door. Might as well. He could use an upgrade. Lothar rolled a 20 on his brutal strike and immediately pulverized the pterodactyl. Jeez. It's okay. It doesn't... Knowing what the name of the enemy is does not matter. Just remember how each one works. Those are just melee enemies that don't have anything special on them. And now, we get leather gloves for him. What are those like? +1 armor, +1 dexterity. The armor factors into the actual armor number now. So the +1 doesn't increase it by 6. It's only 5. The dexterity doesn't really matter, but that is better than what he has, so I'll take his old gloves and not be able to use them. That's fine. Oh, for God's sake. This is another problem. Elevators in this game suck. Just like in the first game. No leather for mages, cloth only. Well, I could give myself 1 level in melee skill if I really wanted to use it, but I don't. So... Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Equipment is not based on strength this time around. It's based on the actual skill level, which is nice. Oh yeah, they suck hard. Alright, let's keep going. There's Terrax over here. Well, a Terrax. Another thing is that enemies will respawn in this game, unlike in the first one. That's because you're intended to be able to come back through areas and play them again. Oh yeah, and one other thing I haven't touched on yet is the bestiary. Every enemy type has its own little flavor text that you can read. And as you can see, for Act 1, there are 30 pages of enemies. So it's going to take a while to fill that out, if we even fill it out completely. What's the deal with elevators? Your characters don't like to get onto them. 29 times 5 plus 4 enemies. Yeah, it's a lot of enemy types. Just like in the first game, there is an abundance of enemies. Now there's a chest over there, which we have to get through this cave to get to. So let's do that. Because loot. There's a hunter, which are ranged users and actually stronger than the melee ones for some reason. They are not weak at all. How many of those 139 die in one hit? Like 5 or 6 of them, I'd say. There's a lot of weaker enemies, but they're not so weak that they all die in one hit. If you're on the same level, that is. But yeah, generally you'll want to target the more dangerous enemies first, obviously. Even if they have a lot more health. Here's a ghostly spirit. You cannot currently understand this spirit. Perhaps Mage Lysanor in the town of Amanlu can give you a clue how to commune with the dead. Obviously, we can't go to Amanlu yet, but we have this tattered diary. Most of the writing in this book is illegible, but you are able to discover that this was the diary of Doreen, an elven historian from Amanlu. You find one passage particularly interesting. These accursed caves will be the end of me. Why did my ancestors feel compelled to create artifacts of interest at the bottom of every stinking hole on this island? The clockwork bridge in this cave just north of Ireland, for example. I can see that there is a lever on the far side of the bridge that I suspect will activate it, but as I have found no way to reach it, full knowledge of this structure may be lost to history. Just a nice little flavor textbook. There is, in fact, a lever over there that will extend the bridge, but obviously we can't get over there yet. And all these barrels give me money, so we're going to be breaking them. By the time we get out of this cave, I should be at combat magic level 3, and I should be able to open that sanctuary door. Chances are we will not be able to open every sanctuary door we find. Since Lothar is a Fist of Stone, that means his melee level is not going to increase as much as it normally would if he were an actual melee user. So it'll be harder to open melee doors specifically. But we will have a good ranger and nature mage in our party by the end of the game. He also leveled up. I'll wait until we get outside before I put that point in. Because, yeah. Hello there, fools. That's actually a lot of enemies, isn't it? Oh, poop. Yeah, get back. Get back, you idiots. Yeah, that's a lot of enemies. Jesus. I was not expecting that many to be there. This is one of the reasons that Energy Sphere is good, because Energy Sphere is basically just a buff. It's not like an attack like Brutal Strike. Lothar is now Porcupine. Yeah, he got stabbed a bit. He'll be fine. This is his job, after all. Alright, what's in this chest, then? A leather helmet. I'll take that. Probably can't equip it, but I'll definitely take it. Let's check that out, actually. I don't need to put my skill in. Ah, yes, that's for Lothar. Good. That'll help with his defense. That gave a percentage damage increase to the armor piece, which is actually better than a set number later in the game. Bullet sponge, pincushion, punching bag. That's his role. He's going to be a tank. Because nobody else in my team is going to be able to tank damage like that. We're basically going to have one of each of the main fighting types. Also, I'm strong enough now to where a fireball will make them explode, which is cool. Should I have soup or ramen? Definitely soup. Who would ever pick ramen over soup? Welcome back, Jack. Okay, so we can now open this door. AKA explode it, because that's what we're doing. Rare Elementalist Robe. Okay. That is a much better piece of equipment for me. Look at all those stat buffs, Jesus. This is why the Sanctuary doors are so good. Really now, Cass? Oh no. Oh no. Ramen is so much worse than soup. Alright. Let's get these specialties. For Provoke, we don't really need... I should be working towards Whirling Strikes since I can. So let's get our Fortitude up, since that's the one we need more of. And Energy Orb increases at Brilliance 4, so let's grab that. Next level, we should be able to decide which one of these we're actually going to be going for. So yeah, we will be picking that. Assuming instant ramen. I don't like the taste of ramen. Like the noodle, I don't like. I've never found ramen that I like.
Help us!
Now, what was the plan there? Alright, now we've got to kill these Morden. Well, that was easy. Good night. By killing them, we got a Morden Gate Key. I'm not even going to read that, because key is pretty easy to understand.
We're free. Thank you.
Tirani? What happened here?
Celia, what a surprise to see you here. Look, the prisoner just saved us.
I came here to make sure this one followed my orders. Saved you? How is it I see the escort I sent lying here dead?
Don't be too harsh, Celia. Jera was overwhelmed. There was nothing the prisoner could have done to save her.
Too harsh? There is no such thing. Not for one who murdered our people and defiled our shrine.
Dang, that actually sounds like a good thing, Corgi.
I have looked into this one's eyes, sister. All I see is a haunting remorse. We are not the only ones who have lost souls dear to us in this war. This prisoner saved our lives.
Is it true what Karani says? Did you defeat those Morden?
I am no friend to the Morden. I never was. I wish only to return to my hometown.
Some of the sisters seem to think that you deserve your freedom. I don't think so highly of it. But perhaps I could be yet convinced.
Tell me what I need to do.
The Morden know we've suffered a devastating blow. They smell blood. Kirani tells me they are erecting towers around this village and taking over all of our outposts.
So basically, Buildery, I was working as a mercenary for the main antagonist of the story. He attacked us once we finished the job, and I woke up as a prisoner. Because I was still alive.
It's only a matter of time before they lay siege to our homes and destroy us all. Valdis plans to march to power over the bones of our people.
Burn those towers to the ground, and you'll save our lives. And yours.
Consider it done.
I'll consider it done when I see the smoke in the
yeah.
There's the outpost gate key and some basic gear.
And here is the stone that will allow you to use the teleporters to return to Ireland. Do well, and I'll consider granting you your freedom. I might even give you back your gear, and that cheap medallion.
That medallion is important to me. It belonged to my only true friend.
So it seems you hold dear things other than a sack of coins. You are more than meets the eye, prisoner. Good luck. See that those towers fall, every last one of them. Come, Kirani. We must return to the prisoner ward. We have much to discuss.
Blood money is still money, Merc Code 101. Act 1, Chapter 3, The Morden Towers, and I get a free copy of Lesser Jolt that I already had.